My name is Kate Taylor. I'm a fly fishing guide in Oregon during the winter and in Alaska during the summer months. Last year, my partner and I bought our first home in the quiet little coastal community of Rockaway Beach. The health of watersheds is important to me because of the fisheries where I make my living on the water, and I drink the water of my community. I think what's even more important to me is the health of the water for my community. I'm not really sure I realized that until I moved into my place in Rockaway Beach and found out that there was an issue with our water. I was really concerned about our water just from the smell coming out of the tap and then the notices that I got with my monthly water bill. But I didn't even really know the extent of our water issues until one day I was walking Kata on the beach and I ran into Nancy Webster walking her dog. And I asked her, where does our water come from? She looked up and pointed at the clear cuts and said, Jetty Creek, that's where your water comes from. And then she started telling me more about the issues, and the more I found out, the more concerned I got.
My name is Nancy Webster. I grew up on the southern Oregon coast. My father worked in the lumber industry as a lumber grader. My uncles, cousins, and grandfather were also employed in the timber industry. I grew up hiking, camping, fishing, picking huckleberries, clam digging. Neighbors talked about concerns about the water, that if they drank the water, they felt sick, or if their dog drank the water, they were getting tumors. And there was all these rumors about the water, but I didn't pay much attention at that point. And then one day, about 3 years ago, I was able to look up and see this large clear cut on this very steep slope about a half mile from my house. So we decided to hike into there, and that's when we learned this is our watershed. We were blown away that it was massively logged. We could see where the streams came down the hill. The headland streams had been logged and sprayed. So there was 2 contract loggers working on the lower section of Jetty Creek, and so we started talking with them, and they said, you have some of the best water when it comes out of the spring up the top of the hill. We bring our bottles. They were concerned about the amount of logging, stressing the water quality, and they also said they're going to aerial spray up here, and you should talk to Oregon Department of Forestry. I was shocked first that this was our watershed being logged, and also shocked that they would actually aerial spray.
Walking here, you're walking through a really tall forest, steep hillsides. There's a lot of moss. It's really quiet. It's cool. It has just a bit of a pristine feel. You can hear the water running, and then you walk out into this, and it's kind of like walking into the Twilight Zone or going from something normal to like a moonscape or a different planet. When I first came into the watershed and saw the clear cutting all the way to Jetty Creek, Feeder Creek's cut, I was really pissed. Like, who would do this? Who in their right mind would cut down the trees all the way to the creek? And then realized that this isn't a logger's issue. It wasn't the loggers choosing to cut all these trees down. This is a management issue, and I feel like the management is responsible for making the decisions to cut this down, even though it's completely legal. I think that management could tell when they came in to survey this land that cutting the wetland right to the creek wasn't good, even if it was legal. Even the private timber companies are restricted by the current state laws, like the Oregon Forestry Practices Act. We have so much more lax laws with the Oregon Forestry Practices Act than our neighbors, Washington, California, Idaho. I think it's really exciting right now that people actually have a chance to lend their voices so that this doesn't happen to this watershed again, and so this doesn't happen to other coastal community watersheds or anyone's watershed. People need to sign our petition letting our legislatures know that the people of these coastal communities, the people of Rockaway Beach, the people of Oregon don't think that this is the correct way to handle communities' drinking water. Let's let the state of Oregon know that we don't think this is okay and we want to initiate change. Do it immediately. You have a real chance for your voice to be heard and help initiate change so this doesn't happen in our watershed, your watershed, or all of Oregon.